Hey, good morning, my friends. Followers out there in the internet land. It is obviously Monday morning because I can't even talk. I got a frog in my throat. Okay, so this is my little friend, the Alfa Romeo, that's been with me entirely too long. Like the 49 Chevrolet, like many of my other projects, personal projects that have been just taking way too long. Part of the reason is because I don't have any help. And the help I have received has not been the help I needed. Yeah, it's great to have somebody come here and sweep the floor, help me move stuff, pick stuff up, but that's very quick, minuscule, in and out type of stuff. I need somebody here that knows how to do this, or that can do it. I've had one person that could figure it out on her own, that's Casey Killer Forehand Goins, okay? That woman could figure this stuff out. She could just conceptualize it, know what it needs to look like at the end, and figure her way to that objective. I could leave her alone. I could say, Casey, I need it to look like this on this time, blah, blah, blah. And she would get it done. The only one I've had that could do that. All the guys that have been in here, I've run them out. They don't know what they're doing. So, case in point, the Alfa Romeo door gaps. This is the passenger door. Yesterday, I was able to successfully achieve a gap of this door right now at 6 millimeters. I'm guessing the tape, I put 4 pieces of tape on the door, wrapped it around on the inside of the door. 4 pieces of tape on the quarter panel, did the same thing. Each 4 pieces of this orange tape stacked on top of one another is 0.5 millimeters. I'm guessing and giving good tolerance to the painter when this goes back to the painter that will be the range of paint thickness, filler thickness, etc. on the door gap edges. So that will bring this down to 5 millimeters, which is exactly the ideal place measurement for door gaps. Look it up. There's a few good YouTube videos out there that talk about door gaps being the ideal gap at 5 millimeters. If you remember from the red Alfa Romeo that I went and did a template on, that guy had 6.5 millimeter gaps on his doors, which was factory. It was okay. It looked, it was factory. The car was never hit, as a previous video attests to. But 5 millimeters looks better. So that's what we're going to go with. The door opens, shuts perfectly. It's going to go back to the painter without the door handles. The painter will not put the door handles in because I will, once this is done. Because they came back and things were not right. They're right now. You can see the body line right here is good. Now I'm going to show you evidence, proof of the door gaps. Yep, 0.1, going to zero it. Can you see it? Okay, so you go right here at this seam. Now they are just barely over 6 millimeters. I wanted to get a better achieved door gap of 6, but I wasn't able to do that. So I will try to do it this way. As I said, I will try. We will see. Let me get the camera set. So halfway down. As I said, it's over 6. The goal was I wanted to get this set to, where's the camera? Okay. I wanted to get this set to set to 6 millimeters, but it's a little bit bigger. So, but it will still be sufficient and it will still be good. That one is 6.56. Okay. Now I'll go here at the bottom. .15, and the biggest thing that the owner of this car was disturbed about was we could not do this. The door quarter, they were bulging out, they had bubbles in it from, as I said earlier, the hand sanding. The natural tendency is to roll in on the edges and cause it to be the way it was. So that was unsatisfactory to me, and this was a learning curve also for myself, but I don't like learning curves on somebody else's dime. This is why all this work I'm doing it out of my pocket. So I'll remove all that paper on both sides. On this door over here, the gap is set to 4.8 millimeters. You can see it's clearly a little bit closer together. I'm going to sand that back just a little bit to 6, or just about 6.25 on here, in here, I should say, not on here, but in here, and that'll make it consistent with the other side. So what remains? This door right here is coming off today. I have to re-weld the bottom gap. I put in a piece of an added piece of material on the bottom. I need to finish that. This door is going to be the panel's going to be shrunk with the shrinking discs. I'm also going to blast the door the entire door, to get some of that goo that's too much seam sealer on the inside of the door seam, because I like seeing a nice clean seam. So does the owner. Details matter, my friends. They really do. So this door will be completely media blasted. I'll put the door back on. Next week, this car will go back to the painter for these fixes. Now, I like the painter. I really do. He's a friend of mine. But we all make mistakes. This apparently is the paint job that the owner paid for, the owner got. That's the excuse I've heard. I don't necessarily buy that, nor do I accept that. But sadly, it is what it is. I've got over probably 35, 40 hours just in these door gaps alone. That's out of pocket. So it is what it is. So here it is. Alfa Romeo door. This is going to be the third part, I believe, the third video of this small series. And just to making this so you folks out there in the Alfa Romeo interesting land of interest, etc., can see it, learn it, understand it, comprehend it. Like back in here, I welded in, I used a copper backing plate when I built up that gap. Copper backing plates were completely savaged, as I knew they would be, and that's the intent. So I was able to grind all of this out, the copper remnants, so it's nice and clean in there. Very clean. It's perfect. A little bit of flash rust in there, but we'll fix that up. No problem. The gaps are good. That's what I like. That's what I need. And I think we've achieved it. So I will sign off. Tschüss.